they're missing it.
We're men. Men don't talk about things like.
You are recording, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all going to end up in like a little montage.
I think it ends up in outer space, never to be seen or heard again.
Yeah, that doesn't happen with Nick.
And that makes me sad.
So, some stuff comes back.
Oh, yeah.
To haunt
And
us.
come right back.
All right.
On this episode of Mountaineer Kingdom 2 Talk.
Patty
I used to think he was doing he was saying chicken pot, pie. Chicken pot, pie. Chicken pot, pie.
That has to go in some form of an intro, like with no context whatsoever. Just
And then
that
we'll go to
the logo.
yeah.
Of Doug.
Dude, I think I'm gonna be Doug for Halloween.
And then we're going to lose all viewership. in
Okay,
the
quick
first 10
question.
seconds.
And this may be a 2 or 3 little minute thing we can talk about and post it. What are your views on Halloween for a Christian?
No,
No.
No everything.
no.
No dress up, no nothing.
Nope.
Nick,
No.
Andy.
I'm torn.
On.
The practice of Halloween, I think, has ties to demonic activity in the occult and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, abstaining from that is it's an event that also brings the community together with context of having the kids play and have fun. In the place that I live, the small town community coming together, it is one time each year where people get out and are actually interacting with one another, and it becomes an event where you can gather with people and hang out. And that element of it, I really enjoy. It's also kind of fun. I dressed up like Frankenstein's monster a couple years ago. I put Lane's pads on, and then I put a shirt over top of it, and I just walked around town acting stupid. And it was funny because people would be like, what is up with this guy? And, I mean, we had fun with it. It was entertaining.
So you had fun with sin, got it. Jared, I'm kidding. I used to be okay with it, and now I've come the other way, and it's an absolute no. The only thing that Haley does now is she will give out candy and prayer cards that she prays over.
I got really disturbed with it when I was in the military. People in the military are dark. We were on post. My kids were relatively young, and this guy had taken the gore effect, and his entire front yard was almost like a meat factory where they were cutting people up, and he had things that had a guy's upper body on this side of the yard, and there was a blood path, and his legs were over here, and it looked like he had been drug away. That was too much for me. And when people go that far, there's a clear balance between kids dressing up like Superman and people that are intentionally seeking out fear. And I think that's where I draw the difference. If I'm in vicinity of a place where it is intentionally trying to provoke fear or a connection to darkness, I disengage with that completely. But if it's a little kid running around like Superman or dressed up like a Barbie or a princess, that's what I enjoy about it. The other piece, though, that dark stuff.
See, but I don't know how you separate it.
So what's the origins of Christmas?
It's a pagan holiday.
No. Just like what do we celebrate? What?
Oh.
The heart behind Christmas
of
is Jesus. Yeah.
The heart is behind Jesus. Now the date isn't correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the date
I was going
is
for the
actually
date.
more like
October or something like that.
it's more like September, October in one of the early festivals. So, but the origins of Christmas is in the heart behind Christmas is the birth of Jesus.
Yes.
And it has been for 2,000 years or whenever the Catholic Church decided to start it. What are the origins of Halloween?
It was, my understanding is that it's, people were dressing up to fend off darkness. They were trying to avoid the darkness, so they would cover themselves with a mask so as to not be open to provocation from evil.
Okay, so it originated about 2,000 years ago. Interesting, right? In the areas that is now Ireland and the UK and northern France, and it's got Celtic roots. And they believed that on this night, the spirits could roam freely and built bonfires and wore costumes to ward off evil spirits. The Celtic priests often used the occasion to make predictions about the future, as they believed spirits' presence made it easier to foresee events. So what is that a mockery of? So 2,000 years ago,
Yeah.
what was the big event that happened 2,000 years ago?
Jesus was here.
Jesus, death, resurrection. So then you look at the Jewish holidays. The Day of Atonement, I think it is the day that the Jews believe is when God makes the decisions for the next year. And that's been a festival and a belief really even predating the flood. So this is a mockery of really that, because the point of it is on that day evil spirits roam freely around the earth. But the Jewish believe, the ancient rabbis believe that on the Day of Atonement was the one day there was no evil spirits, no evil activity, spirit activity, because that was the day that God would make the decisions for the next year. And that's believed in the first part of Job, when Satan is talking to God, that it's believed that happened, that conversation was happening during the Day of Atonement.
So when is the Day of Atonement?
It's a fall festival.
So it's a fall festival. Okay, so there's some overlap there.
Yep.
So Nick, why don't you celebrate it?
It goes back to the evil, like what Andy was saying. You go back to the duality of it.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree. I like what Andy was saying. I like the community part of it. It is nice to see a community coming together and not being a bunch of buttheads for a day.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't agree with the evil spirit of it all.
Yeah, I feel bad at times because I tell the kids you could dress up any day of the year you want.
Yeah.
Any costume is an appropriate costume. Go be a kid. And I struggle with I feel like I'm not allowing them to participate, like they're missing out. But that's not something I want them to be a part of.
I understand that, and I waffled between that, and then I thought about the over spiritualizing of it, taking things at face value, versus applying meaning where there may not be meaning. Now there may be meaning, I don't know, but I have a tendency to over spiritualize things, and who am I? What's wrong in what's happening? At no point are my children or am I leaving the house in the heart of what Jared was talking about when we go out and do those things. And honestly, man, I'd rather sit on the front porch and give kids candy and have hot cider for people, and have a fire in the fall, which is a great time to sit outside. I find it and latch on to the wholesomeness that comes from that. I think there's merit to it.
And I get that. That is, it's such a community event. And it's a family bonding moment. It's just you see the kid dressed up as Spider-Man, and then you see the sluttiness of some of the outfits, and it's like,
Yes.
I don't want my son to be exposed to this. Now, I'm not. People, if you want us, that's your choice. What do you do? I'm not saying you can't or that you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying what our practices are. Like, people can live their own
These
life,
are all
but
personal preferences.
Well, what I would push back against that is, at what point, and this doesn't even apply to Halloween necessarily, it's a foundational concept where you just said, well, I don't want my kids being exposed to that. And that's a lot of the catalyst for why some people choose to homeschool, because I'm trying to protect my children and I don't want them to be exposed to this thing. Whereas that, you can't protect them from that forever. And at what point does that transition? And this, I'm
And
just opening this
everybody,
up
no,
for
I'm with you.
conversation.
Yeah, so I think
it's
it's different for everybody.
There's protection and participation.
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Build on that.
Good point.
So there's a difference. Like, you can't protect them from it because we live in a fallen world, and that's going to be everywhere. Movies, TV. I mean, shoot, some of the TV shows that the kids watch today, even though they've got a wholesome kind of background to it, it's still very, very evil.
Yeah, my goodness, broadcast television. Look at the past even 10 years, like NBC, ABC. The
Right.
stuff on the airwaves.
But then there's participation to it, and participating in Halloween. I mean, you make a choice as a father, as a husband. You make the choice that you need to make for your family and do what you want to do. But it kind of goes back to that verses for me in my house. We're going to do this, and Serena and I made the decision pretty early on that we weren't going to do it, and the kids don't miss out because we live out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no community there anyhow.
So we have
it's
a
all-
bonfire.
It's all family there anyhow. So what we do is we just go and let them pick out what candy they want, and they have candy.
Yeah.
And and we have a cabinet drawer full of candy they're actually going to eat, and we don't have to go through to make sure somebody didn't put a screw in it.
I think that's a really good point. Is